Peace. Bless up in the uprising. Straight up. So, lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge, my people perish. What is this illustrating that we need to learn and retrieve? Because every single time we observe symbols, illustrations, explanations, there there is something to be seen from the illustration, but there's also something to be retrieved. The thing that is seen is shown based on a presentation, but what is retrieved is found from the seeking and from the investigation of the information. So, lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge can be correlated or understood as ignorance. My people perish. So, when we know and we look into the etymology and we break down the word ignorance, we know that it's not a state that invokes an individual or a state that consumes an individual, but it's more so a state that an individual decides to remain when they choose to not consume knowledge, when they choose to not expand the mind and to deduce the truth from the matters at hand. So, why are people perish? Why would our people perish from lack of knowledge? What knowledge? The answer comes in quietly, silently, as knowledge of self. Who do you identify as? How do you identify yourself? Is it through the illustration that you've been shown ever since you arrived into this reality? Or do you plant your roots as a tree would in that only exists first and last, that always exists, that always has existed and always will exist? Or do you just identify yourself as a beautiful smile with some delicious melanin skin? You see what I'm saying? We have to understand that the logical aspect of the mind illustrates thought by symbols, imagery, sound, okay? And thoughts, the imagery, and the sound that we've all been illustrated is that we are just human beings. We are just men. But that's only the surface, you understand? The substance is what stands underneath the surface, you understand me? So a being cannot be only man, because all things that are have been through the power which we exclaim to be God. So if I'm a child of God, if I'm a product of God, then my source is God, my origin is God, my manufacturer is God, and everything else I do is going to be in alignment with God, because that's what I'm in alignment with too. And there's nothing else about that. All the illustrations, all the problems come in from having a misidentification. When you say, I am a man, don't talk to me like that. That's on a different hand. But if you understand what the illustration is from that statement, is that I am a physical being, which is a misidentification. Because a physical being can die, an eternal spirit cannot die. So your identification and your alignment with truth and knowing and the knowledge of yourself is what is going to save you, is what is going to assist you from not perishing. It's the only one thing in this world of endings that will never end. That breath that you breathe, we call it air. We call it air because the language that we utilize proclaims that to be air, so we've accepted it. This is air. It's more than air. We have to understand the logical mind that address all these labels cannot see beyond the surface. Okay? So all the definitions are going to come surface. You must deduce. You must be the one who discerns. Thank you. I was looking for that word. Y'all see me looking? But that's the truth within the matter. It's not the truth of the matter. Because if the truth of the matter is all we focus on, we'll be stuck focusing on logical stuff. You understand me? We'll be focused on the points, the dots on the paper, but we won't understand how all of these dots connect beautifully in a symphony, an orchestra, and a displaying of a one universal song, a song that we play, by illustrating and allowing for our vibrations to take place. Our expressions are our vibrations, for example. But let me read something to y'all. This is Hosea 4:6, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God. I will also forget thy children. Now, read this with your mind's eye and allow for the pictures that are created to illustrate a story to you. Because we don't just perish for the lack of knowledge. The illustration reveals that we reject the knowledge, because as the knowledge comes, we compare it with what we've been given from those who we esteem to be our master in this reality, based on the form and the function and the movement of energy. As it's been restricted, that's the same way that it moves, in a restricted way. So, this video illustrates the truth in this matter. How do our people perish? They do not perish from the fact that we live in a society or this or this or that, because there's a choice that's always been given. Your choice is the utilization of your conscious thought to make choices that are in alignment with the highest version of you, the most high self that you are. You understand me? So, when we know this, when we stand in this, when we walk from this, when we move from this, this is where the knowledge returns. This is the remembering. That's it. Can I get a divine message? Thank you. That's it. Stay up. Blessing uprising. Straight up. Like that.